Good evening, everyone. My name is Asia Panzino, and I am a 3-time recipient of the Charlotte Newcombe Scholarship, due to walk this May with a bachelor's in psychology, graduating summa cum laude. I had a solitary childhood that influenced me to act out in school. My father's 1-bedroom apartment, where I grew up in Trenton, New Jersey, was always dark with dim lighting and thick concealing curtains. He had a fear of judgment, which turned to a disregard for others and only manifested in me a loneliness and confusion on how to face the world. Without a mother around, it was left up to my loving grandmother to try to guide me, and as much as she did try, the large gap in age and generation remained a barrier for us. In my room is where I spent most of my time in front of the television. As for self-worth and emotions, mob movies, thrillers, Disney were my greatest references. If you can, imagine a goofy, loud, often obnoxious and dismissive teenager waving her hands around, throwing fits, and relying on the things that she lacked to afford her the pity to get by. Now, add some red hair and black eyeliner, and you have every teacher's worst nightmare. For me, school was the only place to test my character, and so I tried on many hats, none of which were scholarly. I was confrontational with my instructors, who I'd apologize to today profusely if I could. I began working at 14, although I had no idea how to deal with the emotions that came with trying to be an adult. Nevertheless, I was in a rush to get there, and I ended up quitting high school in 1998. At 16 years old, without a proper skills and defenses, I found myself in quite a bit of mess. Flash forward, and it had been 15 years since I stepped foot into a classroom. During that time, I had my jaw broken, I flipped a vehicle, slept in the back seat of my car, I slept in a jail cell, and when I had nowhere to go, I slept in the backyards of the city. I spent 3 years in an abusive relationship, and every year after, looking for someone to confirm my lack of self-worth. Between the gun to my head and the knife to my neck, I became pregnant. And so when I finally scraped myself up off the floor to attempt my GED in 2013, riddled with bruises and PTSD, I had a 10-year-old daughter who had been the driving force keeping me alive. That part always gets me. By then, I had managed to leave the abuse behind physically, but was still very much captive mentally. After scoring, to my large surprise, in the 98th percentile on the GED, I jumped into college full-time, and I haven't looked back since. It's been because of scholarships and support like that which the Charlotte W. Newcombe Foundation put into place here that I've been able to continue my education and become even more empowered. I've always said, nothing in the middle. I don't care for the in-between of things that we so often find in our lives. And so I spent my time in one or the other end of the spectrum. I would sometimes leap from one extreme to another, and it was always quickly and without warning. My emotions often followed the same patterns. From high to low, ecstatic to deplorable, interested to unimpressed. What would need to change was my accountability and my power of self. And as I grew, it turned into the exact thing that I shunned all of my life that I would gain the most from, all of that which was in between. The fight to the other side, the moments of triumph that emerged from the despair, the reality of perseverance, the strength to stay on the positive end, and the ability to tip the spectrum altogether. For myself, the Charlotte W. Newcombe Scholarship has been not only a stepping stone, but a tipping point for many things. In my education, I am networking. It's given me the opportunity to vie for the respect of people whom I have such admiration for, by giving me a variety of diverse skills and perspectives to offer as collateral for their belief in my potential. It's provided me a degree which opens up many positions at my workplace, and with enough ambition, puts me on track to someday be my own boss. It has enabled me to develop rich and meaningful relationships with respectable people. I've made great friendships with past professors, and I am building an amazing set of resources. It's helped to change me, from the victim to the victor. And next week, I will begin specific training to advocate for others who have faced abuse in their lifetime. It took me from the end of the spectrum where there lies a single little girl with no skills, no passion for education, zero accountability, no coaching for life, to the other end where I now have all of those things and really so much more. It's given me the tools to help a world larger than just myself. That's what it's done for me. That is how the Charlotte W. Newcombe Foundation, Rider University, and so many others who believed in me have fostered strength in a lonely little girl on the negative end of the spectrum. It's shown me that many women who come to join committees like Riders Women's Leadership Council have their own rich experience to bring to the table. And because of that, they don't shame me, but they respect me and have faith in me that I will overcome. When you have a set of people like this rooting you on and believing in you, you can't help but to rise to the occasion. I really believe that this space is so valuable because a woman who knows how to maximize her potential against all odds for the greater good of society enhances her own self-worth. And I ask you, what can be more empowering than that? Thanks for having me. My sincere thanks